Okay.
My ID, I'm the Holy One. I'm Jesus Christ. You see?
You are Jesus Christ?
I'm Jesus Christ!
You are Jesus Christ?
To me?
Oh my
Confess
God.
your sins to me.
Yeah, I will, and I'll also, I'll sing you a holy song.
I have a good idea, right? Get down on your knees and sing me your sins, alright?
Get down on my knees and sing you my sins.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do it with a song.
You want me to sing?
Yeah.
Like a hymn to you?
Yeah, just tell me everything you've done and I will forgive you.
You will forgive me no matter what?
It depends on what
no matter what. That's what you said.
We'll listen. We'll see.
Okay. You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready for it.
Here we go. One time I punched a kitten in the mouth with my fist. And another time I kicked an old lady in the butt when she's crossing the street. And I laughed 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 and I laughed. And I laughed 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 and I laughed. And then I ran over some guy's foot and lied about it, said it wasn't me. Even though it was clearly me, I said it wasn't me. Then I laughed and I laughed and I laughed and I laughed. Then I stole some guy's car, and when he accused me of stealing his car, I laughed and I laughed and I laughed and I laughed and I laughed. And I said it wasn't me. And then one time in the second grade I stole some girl's lollipop, and I laughed and I laughed and I laughed and I laughed and I laughed. And then one time in the third grade I also stole the same girl's lollipop again, and I laughed and I laughed and I laughed and I laughed. And then I kicked her in the mouth, and I laughed and I laughed and I laughed. And I didn't even feel bad about it. And when I was 26,
so emotional.
I went into a laundry facility and I stole a whole wardrobe full of clothes, and I put them in my car, and I laughed and I laughed and I laughed and I laughed so much. But I got a whole new set of clothes for a very low price of free, and I didn't even care. And I laughed and I laughed. And then one time I went into a burrito restaurant, and I got some burritos and I didn't pay, and I ran out the back door. And then the next day I came back to the restaurant, and I went into the restaurant, and I took a big dump in the middle of the floor, and I laughed and I laughed and I laughed and I laughed all the way out of the restaurant. I wasn't even sorry about anything I did at all in my life. And I laughed 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 myself to sleep at night. Yeah, and then one time I went into a church and I stole all the holy water, drank it all down, and it tasted really strange, but I drank it all down. I got pretty high, and I laughed and I laughed and I laughed and I laughed, and I went on top of the second pew, and I laughed and I laughed and I laughed. And when they kicked me out, I burned the church down. I laughed and 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 the people were screaming and I laughed and I laughed. I laughed and I laughed all day.
That was cool.
And then I helped them rebuild their church and I said that I was sorry. I really didn't mean to do it. And I felt very bad for the first time in my life. And I gave them all of my savings and I told them I'd give them all back rubs. And when they were inside of their brand new church, I burned it down again. And the people were screaming and I didn't even give them any back rubs. No, I didn't. And then, I took their cars from the parking lot and I drove them into the river. And then I kept the best one for myself. And then I laughed and 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 I laughed. Satan. What?
Was that the best car you could find?
Oh my god.
No, this is another one I stole from somewhere else. But those are the only things I could fit into the song. There's a lot more.
Well, alright, let me see. Alright, so
You said you'd forgive everything, so hopefully.
water over you.
Oh, thank you. I have a lot more left in my.
Alright,
I'm forgiven. Do you know Burrito Jesus? He's the one. He's the one I usually pray to. Burrito Jesus? No. Oh.
No.
He's a good guy.
Alright, but
He gives you extra sour cream. You should quit your own religion and pray to Burrito Jesus.
No.
No, he's gonna.
I talked to you earlier. Did you learn that song I requested?
What song?
Love is an open door. I asked you if you wanted to
Love
do a
is an
duet.
open door. Yes, I do know that one.
Yeah.
Hang
Yeah,
on, I learned
you-
it. I learned it for you.
Oh,
Just wait.
Oh, there we go.
Here. Love is an open door. When you are burning churches down. Love is an open door. When you're drinking holy water from all the churches that you know. Love is an open door. Burn the churches down. All the burrito demons run out of the church. 'Cause that's how we do burrito demons, yeah. 'Cause love is an open door. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Love is an open door. Is
I
that?
think you learned the wrong version.
That's it. That's the one. That's the one everyone knows. That's the one that everybody knows. Don't you remember?
No.
La 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 la, burning
No.
churches. La 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 la. No?
No.
Oh.
No.
Woo! No? That's not it?
No.
What if I run and jump like this? Woo!
It's still
Woo!
not it.
Is that not it?
No.
That's the dance. That's the dance that goes with it. That's not the one?
No, it's not. It's not.
Then go.
I'm sorry.
I was certain. I was certain that was it.
No. I'm sorry.